Got a couple chats if you want to hit them quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, 12 for this is right away in the beginning. He says, definitely seemed like the pinky wheel wasn't the only thing rigged. I tell you what. And then J. Cole said, Vegas definitely cleaned up yesterday.
Yes, they did.
It like you said, the one thing that was suspect to me was the way that ref came in and spot that ball. I've never in my life seen them do that fast. And that was with 2 seconds on the clock. And that just be. And some of the I will reference maybe one of I think it was a Keyshawn Nixon penalty. I don't think I remember seeing so many flags in the end zone, giving him a freaking 1st and goal. I mean, it just something about it stunk, man, and I didn't like it.
And listen, I'm not saying that's why we lost the game. I don't think you are either, right? But I will say this was ugly. If you looked at the most important offensive play for the Cleveland Browns, it was this 38-yard run here, okay? I'm not going to play the clip here. Maybe I could play it right here without zooming all the way in so you can just kind of see it, just so you can kind of see the play. When it happened in real time, I thought Edgerrin Cooper, who's right here, got washed out of the play. I thought that he chose the wrong gap, okay? Now, you're going to see him just kind of disappear in the hole, right? But when you go back and watch it, that's what happened, boys. Look at it. Now, look, keep in mind, the running back has the ball in the backfield. And 77 is literally bear hugging Edgerrin Cooper from behind, completely covering his numbers up. No call, right? Now, is that why we lost the game? No. But if you don't have that 38-yard run, that ends up leading to a field goal, which ends up being the difference in the game, albeit it was their first field goal of the game. Little things like that, along with mistakes where you shot yourself in the foot, mistakes by LaFleur, mistakes by Jordan. The interception was the most important play of the game. If Matt LaFleur calls a run there, the interception doesn't happen. If Jordan looks at that and thinks, I would rather take a sack here, like somebody said earlier in the chat, I would take a sack here and punt that thing away, you feel like you love your chances of winning that ball game. So there's plenty of blame to go around to multiple players and coaches. So now, in terms of firing Rich Bisaccia, listen, I get it. I know everybody wants him fired now all of a sudden. I remember when we hired Rich Bisaccia, we went out and got supposedly the most decorated, the most qualified special teams coach in the entire league. He's a special teams coach that had head coaching experience, right? And his special teams in Vegas were much better than they were once he got to Green Bay, right? So here's the point I'm trying to make. If he had success somewhere else, right, and we haven't had success with the last 4 special teams coordinators that we've had in Green Bay, who's to blame? I have a hard time believing it's Rich Bisaccia. I think it's how you construct the roster. Now, I just pointed out 3 key players on special teams that we signed, right? However, what was the biggest negative aspect of special teams yesterday? Let's boil it down. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Jacob, but if you know the answer, your answer may be different than mine. If you were to say special teams yesterday, what was the worst play we had or the most important play that went wrong on special teams yesterday? What was it?
To me, it'd be the blocking on the field goal.
Completely agree. Because you had the Savion Williams huge return, right? You got penalties on special teams, and I know the fun saying is you're either coaching it or you're either allowing it. What is the saying? How is it they say it? You're either coaching it or you're allowing it, right? I think that's how they word it. Guys, if we think for a second that these players haven't been told and taught over and over and over again, you're not allowed to do this. Don't do that. Yeah. It's just like when an offensive lineman jumps off sides with a false start, like when they start early with a false start on offense, how will you blame the coaches for that's beyond me. Everyone else on the offensive line had the snap count right, and this one guy jumped. How is that the coach's fault? Are we supposed to go into practice and go, all right, guys, forget the 11-on-11 period. Forget the technically sound tackling drills that we got, all that stuff. We're going to make sure that you can get off the ball at the right time. That's what we're going to do. I'm sorry, man. I can't get on board with that. I can't, Yeah. So.
Deadfish giving us an update. The Lions just went ahead. Gibbs just scored a 1-yard touchdown run.
On Baltimore. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Monday Night Football partaking there. So, again, the point that I'm making there is if Bisaccia had success with special teams where he was before, and we've now on our 4th straight special teams coordinator that somehow sucked, it's probably the way you construct the roster. The reason I asked you that, Jacob, that would be my what else went wrong on special teams yesterday other than the block kick? Because that's the only reason we're talking about special teams today.
Exactly.
Okay, so who's to blame? Well, you've seen the guy came flying off the edge. If he got a hand on it, as bad as we don't want to admit this, guess
Don't
who's
say Tucker. Don't say Tucker.
As bad as we don't want to say it, that's Tucker Kraft's fault, right? Like right here, I think I've got the image here. I want to show you guys. So this is the image, right?
Oof.
That now keep in mind.
That's crazy. Dude.
Keep in mind, Tucker did chip that edge, right? That big defensive lineman, and then try to get back outside. So let's pretend he doesn't touch the ball. This guy that's, and by the way, as bad as I hate that loss, I love this picture. This is football. Yeah. You're talking about a game of inches, dude. This is what it's about, man. Win, lose, or draw. The entire game, you play 60 minutes of football, and it comes down to 1 inch and a fingertip on a ball. How can you not be romantic about football? I just love it.
I was just going to say that. You stole my line, you.
So right here, we talked about this, right? So this is Jordan Morgan. Watch 77. He's going to get blown off the ball, right? Bang. You die a slow death is the goal there, right? Now, was it Brandon McManus with a low trajectory kick? I see several people in the chat that's saying that, right? It could be. Is it Jordan Morgan getting blown off the ball? Is he to blame? Regardless, how is that Bisaccia's fault?
Right.
Do we think that Bisaccia told McManus, hey, man, don't worry about it.
Here's what you're going to do.
Kick that thing as low as you want. It'd be fine.
In there real low, man. That's what we want.
Or we think Bisaccia told Jordan Morgan, listen, buddy, don't worry about it. You get blown off the ball, it ain't no big deal. No. So again, for me, I think it comes down to roster construction. And this is just because I studied Bill Parcells' coaching tree for about 5 years. I got really, it's why I'm kind of a closet Bill Belichick fan from New England, the New England dynasty, is because I got to kind of learn a little bit and really dive deeply into what makes that coaching staff so good. I'm telling you right now, guys, when they say – one of the things that makes my skin crawl is when I hear coaches say all three phases, offense, defense, special teams, right? Well, when Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells and those guys say it, they freaking mean it. And their roster is built around, hey, how can we make our special teams as strong as possible? Sometimes to a fault, right? Well, when you get these West Coast offense teams that the whole structure of the organization is built around how do we have high-powered offenses, which we've been fortunate as Packer fans to have for a long time, special teams on the back burner. It is. Yeah. So name the special teams player, the special teams specialist that we're paying a lot of money to. You know what I'm saying? Like they paid, I think it was Matthew Slater, it was his name, in New England. They paid him like $6-7 million a year, and he was technically a wide receiver, and he never played wide receiver. He was just that special teams ace. He was a team captain, made the all-pro team every year. You don't see the Packers investing money into that, right? No. And the closest thing we had to it was McCole Hardman signing him this year, and he, best of my knowledge, he wasn't active yesterday, right?
Right. So. I like what Murph says. He goes, you think it was difficult because of the knee injury as far as Kraft? I'm not going to discount that. And granted, that could be giving him a out. I'm going to give him that out because I love Tucker Kraft, and I choose to believe that that's what happened.
Again, Jacob, it's like this is one bad play by Tucker yesterday, right? Right. If it is on him, right? So he just came at the worst time.
And honestly, not to excuse him again of it, even if Ward got again a pinky tip there, like the other guy was going to smack it down. It was already decided, and it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Coach says I want to see Stackhouse or Brinson on the field goal team. Coach, check this out. Look right here, 93 on the right. You see him right here, right here.
Oh,
a Stackhouse, right? So I'm with you. Like, and that's the thing. As you said that, I just happened to look down at my screen and went, well, oh heck. Stackhouse was on the field.
Isn't it interesting too? Kennard's in there. Like they trust him enough on that. To me is crazy. You know what I mean? That makes my head spin a little bit. That they trust him enough on the game-winning field goal at left guard or whatever position he was lined up there, right. And then they don't trust him enough to throw him in at right tackle, and they want to throw Morgan all around. And so whatever. Can I throw one more question out there, quick? Or so Brooke, I've never seen you in here, Brooke. I love it. Says question.
Brooke's OG.
Brooke's OG. Okay, sorry. She says question. Do we really think this is a revenge game? He's got friends on that team. It was non-Jerry, not sure he's mad. Right after that, Joe said, y'all think Parsons was tired or saving it for Dallas? I heard he was hurt and missed a few snaps. So that kind of goes back to what we both talked about, how we kind of saw him getting either was it winded or blah, blah, blah. I don't think that he's going to look at that Dallas game and think that this isn't anything, not necessarily a revenge game, but a prove to my new team that I'm worth the money. Do you think that he's going to pull up at all whatsoever because he may have quote unquote friends on Dallas?
No, I don't. And here's the thing, though. Can we be real for a second? So when you have superstar players on your team, there are negatives that come with superstar players, right? Like, I mean, you go back. Antonio Brown was one of the greatest wide receivers ever played the game. He was a damn head case. Still is to this day. Best of my laws, he's still running from the law out of the country, I believe, right? So just an example, right? Absolute dog on the field, but boy, oh boy, did he get in trouble off the field, right? Like that's just kind of remember Deion Sanders? It seemed like every year there was some kind of huge storyline around him, right? Micah's a superstar, whether we agree with it or like it or not, right? There's a little bit of baggage that comes with that. The fact that we're talking about going into Dallas, and this isn't a shot at Brooke or anybody else, it's crossed my mind too, Brooke. I'm glad you brought it up. But the fact that we're talking about him going to Dallas, it's a revenge game. We're going to go down there. He's going to be all in. We should be amped up every game, right? Rashawn Gary don't treat any game different than any other. He just goes out there and works his ass off. I mean, we've seen it all year last year in the run game, right? So that's not a shot at Micah. I hope he's not holding anything back for a specific game, or maybe he would hold back on this because he's got friends on the team. I don't think that's a real thing. But this whole, I'm going to go hunt Flacco. How about we just hunt our assignment? How about we do that? How about we all – and again, I didn't see anything that Micah did yesterday where I was like, oh, Micah, what are you doing? I thought he played great. But you got to keep that – we talked about it going in, Jacob, that is it going to be a problem for the locker room when you bring in someone like Micah, right? No, I don't think it is. But these are the type of conversations that pop up when you got superstars on your team like that, and it's a good problem to have great players that's the thing you got to harness. And again, we got to go back. The defense played great yesterday. They played absolutely great. So.
Agreed. And just a quick heads up. It looks like Pivot said that there was a touchdown to Henry. I believe that's Hunter Henry. I don't know if that's true. No, somebody said Hunter Henry. I believe it's going to be the Baltimore Henry.
Yeah, it's Derrick Henry. He and as he popped into the A gap, Kirby Joseph kind of squared up, and you could tell Kirby Joseph was not attacking that man. So he just back outside. Yeah. So it's tied up
28-yard touchdown run. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's a nice cutback. Yeah, Derrick Henry, and again, Derrick Henry last week got his lunch ate by this defense that we just played.
Exactly. That's
yeah.
By the way, again, another guy, not to sound like I met Derrick Henry when I was in Nashville when he was drafted there. He was the nicest guy you could ever talk to. But he was a dude. I'm talking when I shook his hand, my hand just went away. It just got engulfed in his. And he was the nicest dude ever. He was just a very, very humble guy. So it's hard not to root against him.
Mm-hmm. Respect Orange says, can't wait for Jacobs to get his runs going. Orange is I'm if you were to ask me what am I concerned about in this team, there's not a whole lot I'm concerned about. I think they're still I think they're more like the team that we seen week 1 and 2 than we did yesterday. But the running game's starting to concern me a little bit. It's just like we haven't been able to get it going against 3 teams,
Yeah.
Unless I'm overlooking something. But I like what Matt LaFleur did yesterday. You couldn't get the run game going. You want to get Jacobs involved. You get him involved in the passing game, and it was arguably our biggest play of the day. Right? Was that pass play outside to him?
Is that a screen play? If I'm not mistaken,
it wasn't technically a screen. I know I edited in the Chalk Talk.
It's called like a swing play or something like that.
Yeah, it was a. I could pull it up, but we'll get into it tomorrow. I've got all the plays are diagrammed, and we're ready to roll for Chalk. We could have done Chalk Talk tonight, but I like to try to save it for Tuesday. But just to do anything to get him involved, because he is, man, when he's got the ball in his hands, boy, he can make guys miss in the phone booth. He really can. But unfortunately, there just ain't nowhere to run right now. Now you're going into Dallas. I don't even know what their run defense looks like. Jacob, do you? Let me pull up the rankings real quick.
Not necessarily. While you're doing that, Brooke, I believe, comes back with a great comment. She says, I'm honestly more concerned. Again, this is in reference to Parsons. She says, I'm honestly more concerned about him becoming a me player. Upset he doesn't get as many sacks as Gary. Says he's pissed about the snap count. Green Bay has a standard. He's great, but genuine. I don't think it's to that point yet, Brooke, but I understand you bringing that up because Parsons used to being kind of like the guy. He's the dude. I just hope that they keep performing to the point where everybody gets to eat and they all get a little, chunk of the food kind of thing. Right. I know Gary's not mad about it right now.
No, Gary is the most selfless player on this team, in this organization. He has never complained about anything. He just went out there and been about his business. And, you look at the cap hits over the years, and he has not been in the top 3 in cap hits at edge defenders his entire career. Maybe this year he finally hit it. Well, lo and behold, you look up and he's leading the league in sacks. I think he's earned it, right? But the last few years, it was 11 million against the cap, whatever against the cap. And really, the people that complain about the overall average of the contracts, they don't fully understand how the guarantees work and how that's not really what you're getting paid per year, because we know the guaranteed money is the only thing that really matters. But I just want to point out Dallas coming up. We were talking about the run game. They are tied for 7th best run defense at 3.7 yards per carry. So they've actually played pretty good run defense this year. In terms
of Kenny Clark, Clayton, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. In terms of passing defense, yards per pass attempt, look at there. Green Bay's still number 1. Dallas is dead last at 9.4 yards per pass attempt. So as much as we want to get Josh Jacobs going, this is probably going to be a game where you see Jordan Love just come out and they're just going to throw the thing all over the yard, I would imagine. So, yeah. And Brooke says, thanks, guys. Love being a part of the stream. Brooke, it's so good to see you in here. Thank you for swinging back by. I remember Brooke was reaching out when I first started the podcast, years ago, and we were emailing back and forth and stuff. So it's awesome to have you in here. Good to see you. Anything else you want to hit on, Jacob? I'm cool hanging out for a minute if you are, man.
Yeah, I mean, just
chat's on fire. This is awesome.
Chat is on fire, and I think everybody's making a bunch of good. What I love about the community that we built here is that initially we're all going to be, pissed as oh god, I almost did a real bad swear right there. We're all going to get very upset with the way that a game ends and where we feel like that we didn't play up to our potential. That's what it's going to be, but. I think what's great about, again, this chat, this group, this PTA posse here is that we all take a step back, look at the numbers, look at the analytics, really kind of dive into what it means to be a Green Bay Packer fan, understand the situation, and then try to maybe make a 30,000-foot overview as to what we need to adjust and what we need to understand isn't really a thing. I love I won't take yours off the chat, but Pivot says, this is my therapy. Honestly, this is my therapy. Do you guys understand? I go to work on the border, and when the Vikings win and the Packers lose, I had like 54 people today being like, "How about them Browns?" And I'm just looking at them like, I'm gonna cancel your membership. I don't even care. Like, I will hit a child. I will. I don't care anymore. It is terrible, man. My boss is texting me, "How about them Packers?" And I'm like, God.
Yeah. Romero Hill says, do you think the lack of a running game is because of the offensive line or more about Jacobs being the focus of defenses? I think it's a combination of both, Romero. They're playing with a loaded box. I think we said seventh highest percentage of a loaded box, which means 7+ in the box that he's facing. But also when you watch the tape, the offensive line are just they're not bullying people, man. They're not, And I know some people are worried about the Aaron Banks experience. Was it a bad signing? The beautiful thing about that is if we get to the end of the season, it was a bad signing, you can get out of that contract after 1 year, right? That's how it was structured. To me, it felt like everybody said $77 million. And I was like, there's something going on there. But on the whole, we break the contract now and go, this is actually a 4-year deal that's really a 1-year deal, which is one of those rare situations. So you could cut bait there. Elton Jenkins has not looked great. And here's the other thing.
I didn't want to bring that up, but
if you decide to move on from Elton next year, you're freeing up $20 million in cap space. That's what you're doing. So again, it's early. We may look up at the end of the year and Elton Jenkins is an all-pro center, right?
Yeah.
But I remember the comment that was made by Rob Domofsky that someone within the building told him the center of the future is in the building already. And people started throwing, is it Sean Ryan? Is it Elton Jenkins? Is it Zach Tom? And the caveat with that was, the other comment was, this organization sees Zach Tom as a Pro Bowl tackle, an all-pro guard, and a Hall of Fame center, Zach Tom. So I would not be surprised if the plan was let Elton play this year out, move on next year, kick Zach Tom to center, and you got Anthony Belton that you drafted to start at right tackle. Now, Anthony Belton's young. We don't know if it's going to work out or not. It's way too early. We'll have these conversations in the offseason. But it really is the whole purpose of this show, too, is the reason we call it Packers Total Access. And we try to view the team as the front office does, as the coaches do, as the players do. When we do the chalk talk, we're breaking it down. What are the players actually seeing? What's the assignment? So we try to look at it from a little more in-depth point of view. And when you're modeling your roster out, Goody right now is making that decision. I promise you that. He's making the decision right now on what this offensive line is going to do next year. How many are we going to be drafted? How do we structure the scouts that are out there looking at the college teams right now, looking at the college tape? They're structuring their approach to putting in the work and getting the extra time in at specific positions based off what they think they're going to do with the roster right now. So
yeah, I love Joe's come. He says Bears beat the Cowboys, Browns beat Packers. I think my grandma grabbed her Bible and went to church and started singing Amazing Grace. And he's given Sunday.
So
that's
true,
what it is, man. It's just,
and it's why I love. As bad as this loss hurt yesterday, Mandy was sitting up here with me. She walked into the room after the kick, after they kicked the game-winning field goal, and she went, "What the hell happened?" And I literally looked her right in the eye, and this is full disclosure because I know we're like family here in the chat. I looked at her and I said, "I've got to do a post-game show." I said, I don't know what I'm going to do to try to not depress these people that are investing their evening into hanging out with us to talk about this game. Like, what do I do? And it was tough, man. It's tough.
If I can give the chat and the members a little insight, you guys would be shocked at the lack of pre-show communication that we do. And I'm not even well, yeah, but I'm telling you, we jump on within 2 minutes. Emilio is usually eating, and as we're going live, he tries to get us to geek out and just do the dumbest crap. But the one thing that Clayton does to his credit, and what we've done since we started this podcast, is when we have a loss, he goes, "All right, boys, if you got nothing great to say, don't be on this podcast. We don't want to be those types of fans." And last night he did the same thing, and we all we shape up, we ship up, we straighten the tie, and we go out there and we try to at least present a positive view, or at least an honest view of what happened with that game and with the Packers. And I hope you guys appreciate that, because it's easy. It's very easy to take that sort of blame everybody, burn it down, blah, blah, blah. The sky is falling, all this bull crap.
And here's the other thing with that, Jacob. When you have those kind of takes after a loss, it gets a lot of views.
Yeah, exactly. We're not clickbait ladies of the night.
I've noticed this, and I've studied this guy. You guys know I'm a business owner. Like, I've studied this model. No production meeting, that fish said. Surprise. I've studied this model, right, for the last 4 years. And I have noticed that the other streamers, not all of them, but the major ones, the 4-letter network ones, they take more calls after a loss than they do a win. Why is that? Because they know that's going to sell. The outrageous takes, the people overreact, and you can actually hear a little pep in their voice, like, all right, yeah, we got a loss here. We can, really amp up the drama. I want to talk about what happened, why did it happen, and it is tough to come in here after a loss. But that's what I told them yesterday. I try to tell them every time, like, listen, guys, I'm not trying to be an ass, but I always say those fans are just as frustrated as we are. Our listeners are just as frustrated as we are right now. Let's talk about what happened, but let's make it fun. Let's make them, when this show ends, they should feel better that they tuned in, rather than I'm more pissed off, I'm more aggravated. That's just
exactly.
Yeah. So, and I know that might be a little rare, but other than Ramage does a good job. Like, hey, bub, I'm having fun either way. You know what I mean? That's what I love about Matt Ramage. But yeah.
I like what Respect Orange just says. Basically, nowadays, if it bleeds, it leads. That's what most people are. They're trying to get your likes, trying to get your angry clicks, and we don't want to do that to you guys. So we respect you, and we want to make everybody have a better experience being a Packer fan.
Yeah. Chuck Jagger says, why the hell we got a Hall of Fame at any position not playing that position? The reason being, Chuck, is because there's more important positions. He's a great right tackle. Like, he is a Pro Bowl caliber right tackle, he being Zach Tom. That's a more important position than center. Okay. That's not my personal opinion. I don't know anybody on the face of the earth, and I'm not trying to be a smart aleck either, Chuck. Like, I'm being serious. I don't know anyone who breaks down tape, any former football player, any coach that would tell you it's more important to have a better center than a better tackle. because obviously edge defenders are what can blow your game up quick. And you got help with the center with the two guards just based off of how most defenses align. So the point there is tackle is more important of a position. However, if next year you come out of camp and you love how Belton looks, and he's our right tackle now. Jordan Morgan's going to be our left. Jordan Morgan, I think, is going to be a great left tackle.
I do too.
I've seen him at tackle. I thought he looked great. He looked comfortable there. Go back to last year. He told the media in his locker, "Hey, I want to
be a left tackle."
Yeah. And why is he saying that? Because he knows he can't play those other positions. And if the argument is, well, he's a first round pick, he should be able to. Guys, that's Josh Sitton couldn't do it. Yeah. Josh Sitton was the one who coined the phrase. If you want to know what it's like to switch from the left side to the right side, go home tonight and wipe your rear end with the opposite hand. There's multiple play. Now, Zach Tom can do it. Zach Tom has even talked about it. He's like, man, it's just come natural to me. I can just kick over to left tackle. I can play right tackle. I can play center. I can do it all. It's not him bragging either. It's just some guys get it and some guys don't. Jordan Morgan will be the left tackle next year unless they get Rasheed Walker on a heck of a deal, which, by the way, Rasheed Walker not having the best year, man. There's penalty after penalty. And I know there's an argument to be made that Jordan Morgan's having penalties too, but he's having penalties playing multiple. He was at right tackle yesterday. I can't believe we started him at right tackle. That blew me away, man. Absolutely blew me away. So I'm glad that Matt LaFleur kind of owned up to that a little bit. Like, yeah, man, it isn't fair that we're putting him in that top spot. So,
no.
Anyway.
Last comment, if you want to end it here. Tony Holman, which I think is one of the best compliments we could get. He says, I personally appreciate the lack of drama on this pod. That's not our brand. That's not what we want to do. We want to come out here and be honest with you guys. And just like, if anything, we want to have a conversation about it. Like, let's talk about it. There's no reason to sit here and start just throwing daggers. Let's literally break down the film, which we will do. I believe tomorrow we have a chalk talk, a chat tack, if you will. That I think that's maybe what does separate us from other, Packers podcasts is we're not quick to sit here and just start labeling people this or that or calling for this person's job or whatever. We take a step back and say, what went wrong? Can we fix it? If not, then we do that. We're here dang near every single night, which is crazy. So I just hope you guys, respect that. And it's just been fun, man. Even in the loss, I think what's cool is that we can, even with the loss, like you said, Clayton, when we went into that post-game show, I was so angry. And then by the end of it, I'm laughing at Emilio, at the end of the game. I'm just saying, man, it's a great group that we've built here. And I'm really so excited that you guys get to share that with us. So
yeah, and my main thing with that is you control the attitude, you control the environment of the show. Like if we all came in here and had the resting blank face, right? It's not going to be a good show. And if we can't do it, then let's just don't do a show. Let's don't waste people's time. So Chris Cashwin says Elton Jenkins looked terrible. What was his PFF grade yesterday? We showed it earlier, Chris. He was bottom 5. I know that. The starting offensive line were the worst graded players according to PFF, so not a good look. Coach Lynn points out pressure up the middle can wreck a game, also like what happened Sunday. Absolutely it can, Coach. But most of the time, you've got 3 guys to block 2 in the middle. You get those tackles there. This. You're a coach, right? The tackles are on the edge. They're on an island. That's where you want to put your best players, right? Your best blockers for the most part. Now, with that being said, going into this game, we talked about this. That you guys remember earlier in the week when we were breaking down the Browns, doing the scouting report, the game plan, everything. They love to run torch stunts, and that's what they did. They kept them, and it was almost like, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. I feel like everybody's on Bisaccia's ass, and I honestly feel like Luke Buckus is the one that should be on the hot seat. That's just me personally. Like I feel like in the last 3 to 5 years, I haven't looked up and been like, boy, thank God we got Buckus. Me personally. And maybe I'm being too hard on him. I don't know. But you've got, how many, whatever you got there. Zach Tom is one of the best tackles in the game, right? He's paid like it now, too. You got Elton Jenkins, who's a former All-Pro left guard, now playing center for you. You spent a first-round pick on Jordan Morgan. You went out in free agency and the $77 million contract on Aaron Banks, right?
Second-round pick in Belton.
Right, exactly. So, but nobody's talking about that. But Rich Bisaccia, he's on the hot seat. It's just kind of because we got a kick block. Because again, low trajectory, Jordan Morgan getting blocked, whatever.
Man, that's a great point, Clay. I have not seen one iota of people calling for that, which is crazy to think about. But
and you notice I haven't said anything, Jacob. You know why? Because I don't want to be that dude.
So we don't do drama here. We're not trying to do that.
3 weeks into the season. Last week we were the best team in the history of the NFL. This week we're firing everybody. What are we doing? I want to play this real quick. For those that just think we just got beat by a really bad team, listen what Brian Baldinger says. Okay, first of all, look at the tweet. Nobody who has watched the Browns play defense needs any stat sheet. This is the best defense in the NFL. Just ask. This is a former NFL offensive lineman, one of the best at breaking down the tape, Brian Baldinger. Let's play this real quick.
The Browns are just relentless. This is the fourth play of the game. Here comes Malik Collins and Mason Graham.
See the
inside on a
that's perfect. That's a torch.
Twist. And all they do,
he called it a twist. Some call it a torch. It's a TT stun is what it is.
It was just smother Jordan Love. Like the pressure was relentless. Mason Graham is going to win off the edge right here. Bam. Here he comes off the edge. That's a good pass rush move. All right. He gets Jordan Love to set up, and then here comes Alex Wright to clean up. The pressure was relentless.
That specific sack, the reason he got killed off the right side, Jordan Morgan playing right tackle.
How about Aiden Huntington over here, all right, working on Aaron Banks. Bam, he beats him inside, and here comes Miles outside. It's like a brown sandwich. Like there's just a big piece of cheese in between that sandwich.
Hey,
like they made life tough. Like this pick stunt right here on 3rd and 6. You watch this stunt, this is how you do it. Malik Collins, bam. Here comes.
That's a TT pick right there, baby.
Mason Graham. And Jordan Love steps up into that brown sand.
Some of y'all are going, Mason Graham sounds familiar. You guys remember him in the draft? I think he was the top defensive tackle on our draft board. Let me double check here real quick. I don't want to tell y'all wrong, man. I got so much stuff stacked on.
Yeah, Graham looked great. Collins looked great. I mean, every single person that they put up there, I believe in Baldy. Like you said, the guy knows freaking ball. What is he
Mason Graham, the best defensive tackle on our board right here, right? A grade of 3.1. We had him as a top 3 pick. So just another – and again, you got a bad organization that probably – I think everybody would say, man, the Browns need a quarterback. They need a receiver. They didn't know. They're building it from the ground back up. 3 tech. In this case, Mason Graham probably playing a little more 1 than 3, but nonetheless a defensive tackle. Build it in the trenches.
Sandwich right there. And 3rd and 1, last play of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 1. Here we go. You watch this pressure on Jordan Love. Like, here it comes. He's got – watch Schlesinger come. Watch him come. He's everywhere. Schlesinger and Graham are everywhere.
Great.
They take him down for an 11-yard sack, and then really they shut down the run again. Relentless pressure. I mean, Josh Jacobs had 16 carries for 30 yards. Under 2 yards a carry. It was like what they did.
So there's a 24, right? That's a 24 zone right.
Derrick Henry last week. Here comes Myles Garrett here from the backside. They squeeze everything. They don't give you any room. No daylight. Browns is the best defense in football.
But Hambubger749 on Twitter told me we got beat by a bad team. Anyway, what the hell is what does Baldy know? I'm listening to Hambubger, right? So anyway, yeah, completely agree there. Not so cool. Should have threw that ball away. It was a debacle from the point that they decided to snap the ball there rather than let the clock run out in the 3rd quarter. It was like we were losing by 14 or something. Like, yeah, we need to get a playoff here. What are we doing? And then he should have threw the ball away. I'm with you, man. I would much rather seen a run there. If you get stuffed and punted away and then they go down the field and score, hey, I can live with that. I can't live with us outsmarting ourselves. So, anyway. Anything else, Jacob? Let's get out of here.
No, man. I mean, I love Respect Oranges. Thank goodness the Browns organization can't get their poop together. Love that. Love that. And then honestly, like another comment right here, just to put a cap on it. 12 for this. Nothing like Captain Hindsight. And that's not labeled at anyone specifically. That just, we all sit here as Monday morning quarterbacks, GMs of our Madden roster and all that. And we all think that we could do better. It's different when you're in there in the heat of the moment, the thick of the game, all that kind of stuff. It is what it is, man. We got, you know what? I think that I believed, and I believe you did too, Clayton, that going into week 4, we'd be 2-1. We are. It just didn't happen the way that we thought. And
it never
need to take a step back. Right. And so let's chill. We beat 2 of the best teams in the NFL. I still believe that. And, we had a dogfight with one of what I believe, like Baldy said, probably the best defense in the NFL. So let's take a grain of salt and let's move forward.
Yeah, let's go Bears in the chat says any given Sunday is the same for a reason. Amen. You know what I will say about the Bears fans? We'll wrap up. I expected them to be dogging on us this week, but I think they've gotten off to such a slow start that they were like, I ain't saying nothing. And Packer fans simmered down a lot after the Browns beat them. So everybody's just like, all right, well, we all need to calm down here a second. Agreed. Just like the Lions. We kicked the Lions' ass week 1, right? No problem. And then they turn around and boat race the Bears. And the Bears come back and boat race the Cowboys. Everybody's just like, let's all go back to our corners and think about this for a minute.
Hey, respect to you. Let's go Bears. That's the nicest Bears fan I've seen in the chat ever. So absolutely, you're welcome to watch our stream anytime, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, we're out of here, guys. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you hanging out. Those are your PFF grades and just a little extra, man. Listen, that was fun talking with the chat. We appreciate y'all being so active and vocal in here. If you're new here tonight, you're sitting back not commenting, going, man, I don't know what day. If you like what we did tonight, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified every time we go live. Tomorrow's a fun one, guys. We're going to be doing Chalk Talk tomorrow. We'll bring you about a 40-minute segment on the first half, breaking down a little Cowboys outlook. And then on the second half, in the second hour, we'll jump into the tape. We'll show you what happened, why did it happen against Cleveland. We'll go in-depth with the play calls and show you some good, show you some bad, and we'll laugh along the way as well. So Bates says, appreciate it, Clay and Jacob. Go, Pat, go. Thank you, Bates. Appreciate you. Everybody in the chat. Thanks, Coach. You guys are awesome. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and we're Ravens fans tonight, baby. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.